was in the clover season, summer was dead, but autumn had not been born. A grindstone stands where the bleeding tree stood just outside the kitchen door, and now if an oriole sings in the elm, the song seems to die up in the leaves a silvery dust. But sometimes, like right now, as I sit in the cool green draped parlor, the grindstone begins to turn, and time with all its changes is ground away. And I remember Doodle. Doodle was just about the craziest brother a boy ever had. Of course, he wasn't a crazy like old Miss Leedy, who was in love with President Wilson and wrote him a letter every day, but was a nice crazy like someone you meet in your dreams. He was born when I was 6, and from the outset a disappointment. He seemed all head with a tiny body which was red and shriveled like an old man's. Everybody thought he was going to die. Daddy had Mr. Heath, the carpenter, build a little mahogany coffin for him, but he didn't die. And when he was 3 months old, Mama and Daddy decided they might as well name him. They named him William Armstrong, which was like tying a big tail on a small kite. Such a name sounds good only on a tombstone. I thought myself pretty smart at many things, like holding my breath, running, jumping, or climbing the vines in Old Woman's Swamp. And I wanted more than anything else someone to box with, and someone to perch with at the top fork with the great pine behind the barn, where across the fields and swamps you could see the sea. But Mama cried and told me that even if William Armstrong lived, he would never do these things with me. He might not, she sobbed, even be all there. It was bad enough having an invalid brother, but having one who possibly was not all there was unbearable, so began to make plans to kill him by smothering him with a pillow. However, one afternoon as I watched him, my head poked between the iron posts of the foot of the bed, he looked straight at me and grinned. I skipped through the rooms, down the echoing hall, shouting, "Mama!" He smiled. "He's all there, he's all there." And he was, as long as he lay all time in bed. We called him William Armstrong, even though it was formal and sounded as if we were referring to one of our ancestors. But with his creeping around on the deerskin rug and beginning to talk, something had to be done about his name. It was I who renamed him. When he crawled backwards, as if he were in reverse and couldn't change gears. I began to call him Doodle, and in time even Mama and Daddy thought it was a better name than William Armstrong. It was about this time that Daddy built him a go-kart and I had to pull him around. If I so much asked to pick up my cap, he started crying to go with me, and Mama would call from wherever she was, "Take Doodle with you." He was a burden in many ways. His eyes were round with wonder as he gazed about him, and his little hands began to stroke the rubber grass. Then he began to cry. At times I was mean to Doodle. One day I took him up to the barn loft and showed him his casket, telling him how we had believed he would die. It was covered with a film of Paris green sprinkled to kill the rats, and screech owls had built a nest inside it.
This isn't mine.
It is, and before I help you down from the loft, you have to touch it.
I'm not touching it.
Then I'll leave you here by yourself.
Don't leave me, brother. Ah! Don't leave me, brother. Don't leave me!
When Doodle was 5 years old, I was embarrassed at having a brother who, at that age, who couldn't walk, so I set out to teach him. We were down in Old Woman's Swamp, and it was spring, and the sick, sweet smell of bay flowers hung everywhere like a mournful song. I'm going to teach you how to walk, Doodle.
I can't walk, brother.
Who says so?
Mama, the doctor, everybody.
Oh, you can walk. Oh, Doodle, I'm going to teach you how to run, jump, and play like every other kid.
What was that?
Go get me the bird book. It's a Scarlet Ibis. Came from the tropics. A storm must have brought it here.
Dead birds are bad luck, especially red dead birds.
Doodle, I'm going to teach you how to swim.
I'm too tired to swim.
Doodle! Doodle, sometimes you make me mad. Brother! Brother! Brother!
your goal. Start over, please.
I can edit it out.
Okay. Maddie Zastrow as brother. Natalie as Doodle and Aunt Vicey.
Gangster. Gangster brother. Gangster Doodle. Stop.
Ow, my arm!
Stop it. Okay.
Ow! You're assertive! Ow, you're too assertive!
What would you do with a brain if you had one?
Do? Why, if I had a brain, I could...
I could while away the hours, conferring with the flowers, consulting with the rain. And my head I'd be scratching while my thoughts were busy.
Darn it. I don't want to record it.